Long before modern technology shrank the world, the Ottoman Empire, spanning three continents, had already perfected one of the most sophisticated communication networks in history. Its postal system was so efficient that messages from distant provinces often reached the capital faster than European powers could respond to similar events. In an era without telegraphs, telephones, or airplanes, the Ottomans relied on a meticulously organized network of couriers, relay stations, and logistical innovation that ensured the Sultan and his administrators remained informed about every corner of the empire. Historians describe the Ottoman postal system as a marvel of planning and coordination. Stretching from the heart of Istanbul to the far reaches of Anatolia, the Balkans, North Africa, and the Middle East, it allowed orders, intelligence, and news to travel with unprecedented speed. The system combined mounted couriers, relay stations, and prearranged routes so that messengers could cover hundreds of kilometers in a matter of days. European diplomats often marveled at the efficiency, noting in letters that messages sent by Ottoman envoys often arrived before similar communications could reach other European courts. At the center of this system was the Sultan, whose control over vast territories depended not only on armies, but also on knowledge. Ottoman rulers understood that power was as much about information as it was about force. A governor in Egypt, a general in the Balkans, or an administrator in Syria could send urgent reports directly to Istanbul. Within days, the capital could issue orders, request reinforcements, or adjust policy, ensuring that distant provinces acted in harmony with central authority. This speed of communication allowed the empire to respond rapidly to rebellion, external threats, and political crises, maintaining stability across a diverse and multi-ethnic population. The system relied on a network of relay stations known as Menzelhain, strategically placed along major routes. Each station provided fresh horses, food, and shelter for couriers, enabling them to maintain continuous travel day and night. Records suggest that some messengers covered distances of up to 100 kilometers in a single day, switching horses at every station. This relay method created an almost seamless line of communication across thousands of kilometers, a feat that astonished European visitors who were still relying on slower, often unreliable postal methods. Equally remarkable was the organization behind the system. The empire employed administrators whose sole responsibility was to oversee the dispatch of messages and the maintenance of relay stations. Messengers were carefully selected for their reliability, endurance, and knowledge of the routes. They carried not only official orders, but also sensitive intelligence about military movements, diplomatic negotiations, and local unrest. Couriers were sworn to secrecy, and the system included checks to prevent loss, delay, or interception, a sophisticated security measure centuries before modern encryption. This postal network also served as an instrument of statecraft. Ambassadors from Europe quickly realized that the Ottomans could act on intelligence with a speed that rendered slower European systems ineffective. While a message from Vienna or Paris could take weeks to reach distant provinces, an Ottoman envoy could relay critical information in a fraction of the time, giving the empire a decisive advantage in diplomacy and military strategy. Battles could be coordinated with precision, rebellions quelled before they spread, and international negotiations managed with timely correspondence. In many ways, the Ottoman postal system became a tool of empire, extending central control into the remotest regions. The significance of this communication network was not limited to politics and military affairs. It also facilitated commerce and administration. Merchants, tax collectors, and provincial governors used the postal system to transmit financial reports, trade information, and legal orders. This ensured that markets functioned efficiently and that imperial decrees were implemented promptly, maintaining economic stability across a diverse empire. In regions as far apart as Algeria, the Balkans, and Anatolia, communities relied on the speed and reliability of these messengers to connect them to the imperial center. European observers frequently noted the difference between Ottoman efficiency and the slower practices at home. Travelogues and diplomatic correspondence from the 16th and 17th centuries often describe astonishment at the speed of the empire's dispatches. Reports reached Istanbul before European powers could mobilize responses to similar events, giving the Ottomans a strategic edge in both war and diplomacy. In an era when information traveled slowly and inaccuracies could determine the fate of nations, this advantage was invaluable. The Ottomans' mastery of communication was also adaptive. During wartime, courier routes could be altered to ensure secrecy and security. During peacetime, the system focused on regularity, reliability, and efficiency. Innovations such as prearranged relay schedules and standardized routes ensured minimal delay. The empire's ability to adapt its postal network to different circumstances demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of logistics and administration that few contemporaneous states could match. The speed and reliability of the Ottoman postal system also shaped perceptions of the Sultan's authority. Subjects knew that reports of injustice, rebellion, or misconduct could reach Istanbul quickly, and that the central government would act decisively. This created a sense of accountability and order rarely found in other empires of the time. Far from relying solely on fear, the Ottomans leveraged information to maintain loyalty, manage conflict, and ensure fairness across diverse populations. The message was clear. The empire's strength lay not just in armies, but in knowledge and governance. Moreover, the system fostered cultural and administrative cohesion. Provincial governors and local leaders remained in constant contact with the capital, receiving instructions, reporting challenges, and coordinating efforts. Scholars and historians note that this network helped preserve a sense of unity across a linguistically and religiously diverse empire. While European states struggled with slow communications that hampered central authority, the Ottomans maintained a sophisticated network that allowed a single government to manage a sprawling and multi-ethnic population effectively. The Ottoman postal network's legacy continues to be studied as an example of early state communication infrastructure. Modern historians and logistics experts note that the principles behind the Menzelhain relay stations, courier rotations, and standardized routes prefigure later innovations in European postal systems. Long before the advent of modern postal services, the Ottoman Empire demonstrated that speed, reliability, and organization could transform governance, commerce, and diplomacy. In conclusion, the Ottoman Empire's mastery of communication was a key factor in its endurance across centuries. By ensuring that messages traveled faster than European rivals could respond, the empire maintained authority, enforced law, coordinated military campaigns, and nurtured economic and cultural cohesion. The postal system was more than a method of delivering letters. It was a tool of governance, intelligence, and diplomacy that reinforced fairness, justice, and centralized control. In an age defined by slow travel and limited information, the Ottomans understood the power of communication, proving that knowledge, efficiency, and speed could sustain an empire even across vast distances and diverse peoples. Long before modern technology revolutionized communication, the Ottoman Empire showed the world that a well-organized postal system could be as powerful as armies, shaping politics, economy, and society with unmatched efficiency. The legacy of their postal system reminds us that information is power, and that the empire's ability to govern fairly and respond swiftly was as crucial to its success as any battlefield victory.